Billy, I'm so glad you're here. I'm gonna pass on the gold Zeo powers to you. Really? No. Psych, that's just gonna be a red herring in the show to make you think that it's gonna be Billy who's gonna be having these powers, but instead we're gonna do something completely different just to piss off the fans.
I'm in love with a hero. I'm in love with the one who will...
Hello, toy collectors of the world. I have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm sorry, not the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's just the Power Rangers Zeo Gold Ranger. It's part of the Legacy Collection. If I had to pick any Power Ranger as my favorite, it would definitely be the Blue Ranger from the Mighty Morphin series. However, my second favorite is the Zeo Gold Ranger. Major shout out to my buddy Jim. Jim, thank you so much for getting me this figure. The packaging on this is very similar to the Blue Power Ranger figure that I did a review on recently, which I'll put a link down for anyone out there who's interested. On the back, you can see some of the other figures that are available, and the other figures that have the different Build-A-Piece figures, which in this case, you can build the Zeo Megazord. The Gold Ranger is part of the Series 4. I think that's all I can really say about the packaging. I mean, it's pretty standard for the Power Rangers Legacy series, so let's go ahead and open this guy up. And here he is! The only accessory that he comes with is his gold Zeo Power Staff. Looking at it close up, it does look pretty darn awesome, with the exception of the paint scheme. It doesn't look as bad as the armor, which I'll go into that in a second, but still, they could have made this a bit more of a vibrant gold color. They put in some cool detail on the bottom of it, so I am really happy with that aspect. Side note, there's also a full-size Legacy version of the Gold Power Staff, which is something that I'm hoping to get very soon. But let's look at the Gold Ranger. Okay, first, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Look at this color scheme. It is horrible. I mean, all around, this just looks like a mustard color. I don't know what they were thinking when they were painting him. I've seen different pictures online where some people have gotten their own paint. They've done some sort of hobby paint and they've painted it gold, and it looks so much better. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing myself. And it is a shame because they did put a lot of detail in the sculpt for the armor. And the figure's all-around look is fairly decent as well too, so I don't know why they messed up on just that one detail. With a little effort, you could take the armor off of it, but that is something I am not going to do because I want him to keep it on for as long as possible, so he looks fairly good. There are a couple places where the gold is a bit more vibrant, like on his knee and around his leg. Same thing with around his neck. If you've ever noticed his helmet in the TV show, it was not smooth all the way at the front. The forehead here, you can see there's like ridges, kind of like a Klingon. And his face has the same symbol along it, which is somewhat similar to what his staff looks like, which is also similar to what his belt looks like. You can see his gauntlets. Again, they did put the detail into it. It's just unfortunate that they used this kind of mustard color. Oh yeah, shake that booty. Overall, he's a great figure, with the exception of his wrists. I mean, they're very weak. I think this is something across the board for all the Ranger Legacy series. If he had the proper stand, you can put him into some really badass poses. He holds a staff decently, but again, like I said, his wrists are so weak. It's like even this, he can't really hold it up too well without it kind of falling down. If you put it in both hands, I think he can hold it really well. I never watched the Super Sentai series, the Japanese series that the American series was based off of, which I believe it was called O-Ranger, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly or not, or if there's another pronunciation, but I know there's a vastly different story that took place between the two series. Let me real quickly go through his articulation first. Let me get this out of his hand. He's got movement in his head, upper body movement, upper arm movement, double jointed elbow movement, of course the wrist movement, waist movement, upper leg movement, double jointed knee movement, and finally ankle movement. All in all, he is a really cool figure, like I said, with the exception of the paint. I'm going to be working on my own version of this costume myself. I'll probably commission someone else to do the armor though, because this looks like it's really detailed, and there are many people out there that are much better at it than I am. Here's a quick shot of the Gold Ranger with Pyramidas, which he's not in the bestest of shapes, but you know what? I still have him. I have not, unfortunately, kept him in the bestest of conditions, but still, you know what? I'm glad that he is on display here next to him. The only other figure that I have from the Legacy series is the Blue Ranger, which I'm going to point out and say that I really think that David Yost should have been the person who took over as the Gold Ranger in the American series. I'm just going to point that out there. I know he left the series for many other bad reasons because he was being made fun of being that he was gay, but still, I think that had things gone much more smoothly, he should have been the one to take up the mantle. I think that's why I like the Gold Rangers so much, because in my headcanon, Billy did take up the mantle, rather than Jason, who only took it briefly. Real quickly, I just want to show a couple Marvel Legend figures as a comparison to show that they are pretty much in the same scale. Hey, you're a fellow fighter. How you doing? Want to have an icicle sandwich? And for no reason whatsoever, I decided to put Bo from the Masters Universe Classics Princess of Power series, just because. Anyways, though, Jim, thank you so much for getting me this guy. I'm going to be giving him a great home. Overall, like I said, he is a cool figure with the exception of his paint. I'd hate this mustard color thing that they did, but I still love him, and I think that he does look awesome. The joints in his wrists are slightly weak, but these are very minor things. I'm going to try to probably paint this goldish color, at least to the best of my ability, where I hopefully won't mess it up. But with that, thank you guys for watching me in this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon site, my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Always win. He's a prominent figure.
There is rumors going around that the actor who played the Red Ranger and then later on the Gold Ranger, Austin St. John, was doing porn, but turns out it was not true. It was just a guy who looked very similar to him. In fact, I even looked him up just to see for myself, and I can see the similarities, but at the same time, I'm like, nope. Austin St. John looks very different from that guy. Just thought I'd point that out.